impacts, fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Q Show here, and now. Whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku. And well, Deku showed exactly how far he's been able to push his body with power. Deku, he offered to train Momo. Or Momo, she wanted to hire Deku to train her. And she even said she'd pay him with a fight with the #1 hero, All Might. Now, Deku, this was a childhood dream for every kure member. It's like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and every single birthday you could ever have in your entire life, all rolled into one. Now, Deku, he fought All Might. And All Might, he was very impressed, but also fearful of what Deku could do. Deku, if he's correct, matched somewhere between 30 and 40% of his own power. Now, this was practically unbelievable for All Might. It showed exactly how much power the Cures do have. And then there's the fact that if he were to give him this power, one for all, there's no telling where the upper limits of Deku's power could hide, or even go to. Sure, Deku, he could be the next successor, take out All for One, stop the man before he even starts if he's still alive. But that's just the problem. If he gives Deku that power, he'd become an unstoppable force if he does not stay on the hero's side. Now, this is actually something that has happened. And All Might, he's actually weighing his options. Now, we do actually have Deku and Momo. They are going to begin their training. And Momo, she actually has invited her friends from the dojo here to her manor. Now, that means Kendo, Kirishima, and Mina. All 4 of them are going to be training with Deku, and he will get them ready for UA. Now, you do actually have where they all do arrive, and Momo, she actually is there to greet them. As Deku, he does actually go to look around the area. Him asking Momo if she would actually like to train, as in easy stuff, but they do at the dojo, or would she like to go through a kure form of training? Now, Momo, she actually is kind of surprised. A kure form of training? What exactly does that pertain to? Oh, it's quite simple. The Cures, we like to go through our own training that's specially designed for us. I will lower the intensity, however, for you, since you're not a Cure. However, it still will be more effective than regular training. You do work out regularly already, don't you? Somewhat. 3 out of 7 days? Let's increase that to 6. Really? Yes. Now, let's get started. Now, Deku, he does look around the property, as he does ask Momo if there's any trees her family does not like here. And Momo, she at least does go to look around before going to point out a tree that's sitting out in the field. Now, Deku, he does go walking over to it, as all of them, they are actually intrigued by what he might do. And Deku, he does look at the log, up and down. Okay. Now, Deku, he does just go to turn on his removal, as they do watch him go to bend down and basically rip the tree right out of the ground. Now, it was very surprising for Momo, That tree is kinda tall, and Deku, he just wrapped his arms around it and pulled it out. Now, Deku, he does start to walk over, as he does lay down the tree and begin to start at least chopping it up with his bare hands. Then watching Deku just basically karate chop it at certain points, and it just blasts itself apart. Now, Deku, he did at least tell Momo, as he'd walk back over to the area by the field and stab a fairly large 7-foot long log into the ground, saying that she's going to be training with this, as Deku does actually hop up and could actually just stomp down on the log, as it does stick itself further and further. Now, Momo should just walk over and actually see what Deku does do, as Deku does at least start demonstrating different things she needs to do against this log. He's showing her different kicks and different ways to throw a punch, and Momo, she does just stare at it, asking Deku exactly what this is supposed to do. And Deku does at least explain as he is actually going to throw out one of his legs. Deku kicking into the log and informing that this is actually to toughen up the bones, and even exactly kicking force. Now, Deku informs Momo, by the time that training is done, he wants her to be able to kick this log clean in half. Now, Momo, she does not think it's possible. However, Deku, he actually does demonstrate. Him actually being able to immediately go from standing right in front of her to asking her to step 3 steps forwards, before Deku himself does actually spin around and get to kick the log in half with his own leg. Now, Momo, she did just stand there, and she did actually go to look at the log. That's... what the fuck? Now, Deku, he did inform her about this, and Momo, she actually starts her own intense training. Now, it was actually kind of intriguing for Momo. She's watching all this happen. She throws punches and even kicks at this log for about 2 hours. And then she even does start doing push-ups, sit-ups, and many other exercises that Deku has told her to do. Now, she's very curious about exactly what's going to be happening today. Now, you do actually have at the end of the day, where Momo, she does feel exhausted. And it's just kind of surprising to her. This is day 1. This is day 1. And you're telling her that she has 5 more days of this before she can rest? Now, you do actually have the next day. Different types of intense exercises and different muscle groups. And Momo should still somewhat feel bad and groggy from yesterday, since everything is sore. Now, you do actually have what this does continue on. Momo and these 3. They do continue intense training like this. She does seem to struggle. Meanwhile, everybody else is ahead of her. They have that thing they can do. And even then, they combat train with Izuku. How is this fair? Now, Momo, she's very annoyed. This is supposed to be her own training, and she invited them along because the results would be a lot better. People would be there to motivate her and even actually do things with her. And it does actually get her pissed off. Now, you do actually have the next day, where Momo, whenever she does expect to be able to do a leg day or just basically running around a lot, she does actually hear Deku inform her that they're going to be doing some combat training. Now, Momo, she was actually somewhat caught off guard by this, and Deku, he did actually ask her to show him where she's currently at with it. Now, Momo, she actually had to go to create a staff and get ready, as Deku does just stand there with his arms folded, informing Momo that she can use that, but she does need to learn a fighting style with it. He was taught a fighting style by some monks, and he thinks that would probably be best suited for her. Now, Momo does hear that. Monks? Yes. I believe they were... I don't remember actually what type. There were at least 3 different types of them I trained with. It could have been all the above. However, some of them they taught me peace, some of them taught me combat, and some of them taught me how to harness the power of my mind. You're serious? Well, the mind was basically easy. A cakewalk. Cures harness the power of their minds since the day they're born. So I basically stayed with them for a few weeks. Not the desired amount of time. Now, Momo, she's very shocked. Okay, this is clearly about to get a lot more intense. Now, the three, they actually are training themselves. Well, Momo, she is actually about to fight off against Deku. And she does get ready. Ash just rush towards Deku and go to throw the bow staff directly over her head and smash it down. The moment she actually is going to do that, he collides with Deku's arm. And nothing really happens. You just hear the intense sound of something hitting something else. And then nothing. Now, Momoshi does get very annoyed. As she actually is going to cock back the staff and go to swing it directly at Deku's head. Now, she expects Deku to dodge, or even really do anything. However, upon it hitting into Deku's head, the metal staff, it does just kind of bend. And Momoshi actually just feel the vibrations shoot up her arms as she just go to let go of it. Now, Deku, he is just staying there. As he does inform Momo exactly why she may have just messed that up. What? Well, bow staffs. They aren't easy weapons to use or handle. However, if you're going to try and use something that's blunt or not sharp, a bat. Try that. Now, Momoshi is actually very intrigued. A bat? Why? The staff has longer reach. Now, she does actually somewhat take Deku's advice. Okay, he's the trained bodyguard, not knowing he's a trained assassin. Now, she does create a metal bat and try again with Deku. However, she does find that there's at least a little bit more effort going into it for Deku. Now, today's training does not prove very much. However, they do just continue on. As you do actually have at the end of the week where Momo, she's very tired. And her body, yeah. The muscle groups that have recovered from day one, they still do hurt. And she doesn't understand. They're using actual workout equipment, combat training, and a mix of some sort of primitive style training. This is just insane. Even some of the personal trainers she's hired in the past have never been this intense on her. And this is a toned down version of the kure training? You're serious? She feels like she's gonna die. Now, Momo, she does at least do one thing. She does call up her friends. And she does at least try to ask them for some advice. And their best advice, basically, is call Deku. Now, Momo, she is somewhat annoyed. But there actually is Kirishima who does try to give her dietary advice. And exactly the fact that she would need to eat more protein and stuff like that. And yeah, while she does understand this, she'd rather not become, as she would think of it, a muscle-bound meathead. Now, she does still call Deku, and she does at least wait for the response she might be expecting. However, it's basically completely different. Deku, whenever he does answer the phone, he actually is just watching TV. And he does at least inform her about what to do. Stop doing that. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Start doing this. Start doing this. Start doing this. And basically start eating this instead of this. Now, Momo, she's kind of surprised. She kind of expected his response to just be train your quirk and eat more junk food. Or something like that. But no, it's just not training, it's not any of that. It's just actual advice. Now, Momo, she does at least start to try and ask Deku about the Kure clan. And Deku does at least tell her a little bit about it. The Kures have been this way since the beginning of time, basically. They've been around longer than modern Japan, or even really some eras of the past. And that just kind of surprised Momo. So whenever they stopped happening, the Curies are still going through it. It just seems kind of weird. Now, she does wish to continue talking to Deku. However, she does do one thing. She does hang up the phone and continue back about her day, actually going about some of the changes Deku has recommended. Now, this training does continue on for a few weeks, turning to months. We do actually have where 2 months later, All Might, he actually does somewhat call up Momo. Now, it was very intriguing. She recognized the number, but she didn't really understand it. And then there was whenever she actually pick it up and find All Might's. And it just caught her off guard. Hello? Monsieur Yorozu. All Might? Yes, that's me. I was curious. Would I be able to speak to that young Kure man? I think so? No. Deku, he actually does look in Momo's direction, as he does see that she's just staying there on the phone. Him walking over and asking Momo exactly who is she talking to. Her going to hand the phone over to Deku, talking about how it's All Might. No. Deku just take the phone and go to bring it to his ear. Hello? Yes, Izuku Kure, correct? That's me. Okay. I wish to speak to you about something urgent. It's incredibly important. Alright. And what would that happen to be? We need to meet up in person. Can you do so right now? Not right now at the moment. Come by my dojo around, let's just say 5. Now, All Might, he does understand. Him hang up the phone as Deku just handed it back over to her. And she just tried to ask exactly what is that about. Don't know. Anyways, we need to continue training. Now, Deku just tried to think. Momoshi's at a good spot right now. However, if she's gonna get into UA, and she does use her quirk, let's see. He feels like it would be best for her to know at least some stuff of the Nigo style. Deku can pass down certain things, but with the advance, her body might be able to handle it. But right now, no, it'd be too much. Now, Deku's somewhat cautious. He's aware that she's more delicate than regular people, especially since this type of training, it's a lot for a regular person, but for her, if she wasn't training in the past, she probably wouldn't be able to get so far right now. No. Deku, he does at least try to teach her the Iron Body, along with even some techniques that would help her down the line. Now, Momo, she does actually like this idea. She can use these techniques further down the line and improve upon some of them whenever she can. Along with that, they can help her in the future. Now, it's kind of interesting. And we do actually have where Momo, she also want to ask Kirishima for some help. Now, Momo, she has noticed that Kirishima and all of them, whenever they do actually spar and fight against Deku, they actually are improving. But whenever she tries to fight against them on her own, she doesn't see anything. Now, Kirishima, she does try to explain this. And then there's that one thing that does go back to. It goes back to the advance of the loan. The technique that Momo, she's kind of cautious about. It's just the way it's been told to her. If used incorrectly, you could have a heart attack. That is kind of bad. And, well, yeah. While she would rather try to avoid it, there is actually the fact that Mina, she does talk about how that really is not really that right. Your heart will go off beat, and you will actually have to go to a hospital to get it somewhat sorted out. Now, this does make Momo more comfortable with the idea of using the loan. And it's just kind of weird. She knows that Hasashi Deku's father does know the ability, but even then, should she really try it? No. With that being said, we do actually have where the day is over, and Deku does head home to meet with All Might. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.